Hey there, Soul Shines, it's Michelle here, and it's Creative Expressions Day. Hey, my name is Michelle, and I live here in Utah, which is very gray today, and I had to put up my light simply because it is so gray in here. So gray. If you're new here, I'm a mother of 6, a grandmother of 2. My youngest is a teenager, and they just go up from there. And I'm a crocheter and a knitter and a YouTuber. And speaking of YouTube, I would like to invite you to hook that subscribe button, like the video, and leave some yarn in the comments. And that means talk with me, babies. Give me some feedback. I love the conversation aspect that can happen at YouTube, and I apologize. We've had allergies at our house. My poor little son's out in the other room coughing, and I'm feeling it in my nose, and I can feel it affecting my voice and everything. So I have my water here, trying to keep everything as workable as possible. I don't know. Allergies, not my friend. Okay, so I haven't done a creative expression as consistently as I would like to. I'm definitely working on that. So in a creative expressions video, we're going to talk about any finished objects if I have them, works in progress, plans. We are going to talk about life updates. I like to share things that I'm learning about just to inspire you. I always have chapter links so you can jump ahead or jump back, and I put links to anything that has a link. I will link below. Okay, so let's get going. Finished objects or not. If you don't know, if you haven't been following my Crow Knit Joe, all that stuff, it's pretty low. I'm finding it really hard to be motivated to do my crocheting and knitting, but the reality is it's not just those. I'm finding it hard to be motivated to do a lot of things in my life. I'm fine in certain areas, but mostly it's so nothing to show. So we're gonna look at my projects here. I have my dashboard here. I have not worked on my bag, my Things We're Making Thursday bag. I don't have it close to me. It was a last month's project. I have not worked on it for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have not worked on my grandson's cardigan since that first day. I think that the biggest reason why it's hard to pick that one up again is because it's one that I have to follow a chart. And because of the way that the pattern works, it's never going to be a sit down and just go kind of pattern repeat. So I'm just, yeah. I mean, there's kind of a little bit of a rhythm, but I always have to have my thing to mark off where I'm at and things like that. So it takes a little more effort. And I think that's my biggest thing. I have not worked on my scarf for a while, my little hoodie scarf. I do for sure want to get that done before next winter. And I think I will. Mostly my take with me project is my shawl. So I will show you my shawl. Let's talk about temperature socks while I'm picking this up. I did not do my my thing for the week. I didn't do it this last Sunday. I didn't touch yarn this last Sunday. I just had no desire to. Yeah. That's how things have been, that I couldn't even pick up and do a couple of rows on my socks. So I haven't caught that up. This Sunday I don't know. Oh, we've got a lot going on Sunday. My daughter's birthday's on Saturday. I'm recording this on Friday. And we're celebrating on Sunday. And so there's a lot going on. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Anyway, I gotta get back to where you can see my camera. I have been working on the Vortex shawl. Isn't this fun? This is yarn. It is Premier Yarns, wool-free lace. And then it's other languages here. Oh, I hear thunder. It is a size 1, and it is this beautiful red sparkly color. If it has a name on it, if it has a name on it, I can find it now that I've got my glasses. It's got a lot number, color, red hot. This is red hot. That's the color name. And this is yarn that Shannon from Another Yarn sent me. Oh, it was so fun. And so I've been working on this. I like this. It's a 2-row pattern repeat. You have these little stitch markers. So it's the same thing between stitch markers. One row has some yarn overs in the first little section, and then just plain stockinette across. And then the second row is plain. Last stitch in every one is a decrease on every row. So it's like, remember my 3 yarn overs placed where they need to be, and remember to decrease the last 2 stitches before the stitch marker. And then the next row is stockinette, decrease. Like, that's it. And I'm not going to tell you where the yarn overs go or anything like that, because I think I had to pay for this pattern. So, yeah. It is really fun, though. Isn't that really pretty? It's just so pretty. I'm loving this. I think it's going to be so much fun. And this is an easy take with me and just work on it. So, it's pretty fun. Okay, now I'm a little frustrated about one of my crochet projects I'll talk to you about in a second. So let's go back over here and look at my crochet projects and talk about them. Seahorses. I had started one and it just needs like detail work. It's just sitting there. I have a cow cozy to make. Yarn's somewhere over there. Nothing. I thought, oh, I'm gonna do my octopus babies for my mystery yarn challenge. Get this whip done. Nothing. Yeah. Just nothing. Guys, just nothing. But I have this yarn here. Let me talk about this. Okay, and that's so pretty. It's just so pretty. It has gray on the outside. I am working from the outside. I have my reasons for it. I don't normally work from the outside. This is Yarn Bee, so it's from Hobby Lobby. Rainbow Rhapsody in Ivy League. Ivy League, I believe, is the color name. That's usually how theirs works. Yeah, Ivy League. It is a one weight, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. Oh, I forgot to tell you on this red stuff. The red, where are you? 88% acrylic, 7% PBT, and 5% metallic. And the metallic would be the little sparklies in there. Can you see the sparkles? Sometimes, even though it gets blurry, it's nice to show, yes, there is sparkle in there, because the sparkles will kind of show up a little more in the blur. Anyway, so that's that though. And this one is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. And there was 7 ounces, 198 grams, 918 yards, or 838 meters in this one here. Okay, so I talked about it last time. I have a skirt. It is a white eyelet skirt that I want to make. I want to make things to wear over it. So that's what I'm doing with this. So I have started it, but here's the thing about this. I started this, and then I was working the pattern repeat. This is just the waistband thing. It'll get cinched in. You make it big enough to go around your widest part, and I'm not that thin. It's a 12-row pattern repeat. I will put the link to this down below. And I got it, and I was like, this seems so big, like so big. So I put it up around my hips, and I took out 2 of the 12 pattern. I had to take out 24 inches. 24 stitches. And so that's like taking out like that much. It was so big. So I pulled it out, and now I'm still working on the thing. I think because it's like extra hard to work in the chain this time, and I think it's because I didn't undo the whole thing and just do the chain again. I just carefully pulled back 24 stitches, and so that's why it's taking so long, I think. I don't know, but I'm really hoping that once I get around the thing, it will go faster. However, I lost my crochet hook. I don't know where it is. So I'm like, well, that's fun. I need to look in the car and see if I dropped it in the car, because I did take, like, I just have both the shawl and this in here, because right now they're both fairly take with me projects, and I want to do both of them. So I just have them together because I'm like, which one do I feel like? Do I work on crochet or knitting? Which do I feel like doing? And so that's what I've been doing. And so yeah, I had to frog all of that. So that's a little frustrating. And then I feel like, oh, I don't have anything to show you. Anyway, I have made the toe, foot, and heel of a tiny Dobby sock. That's for giving away. I don't even know where the project is. That's my tithing project. Did not work on it. Did not work on my socks. Did not work on that. So yeah, just like, I have so much going on, and yet, and like life updates, like we had gotten my kitchen fairly good. We were doing the dishes. Everything was going great. And then I just lost, along with my knitting, I was just like, I don't even feel like doing the dishes. Like, it's not even just an I don't feel like it. It's like such, I can't even make myself. It's, somebody left a comment on one of my videos about how they do the thing where if they have a whip that they're not, I have to work on this so long before I work on this fun thing. I usually can use that, just like I could usually make myself do at least something in my house. I can't right now. It's like, nope, I can't even use that, because if I tell myself I have to do that, I won't do anything. That is the space I'm at. It's so weird. I've been in this space before, but the thing that's weird about it is that in general, I'm happy. So like, it's not really depression, but maybe it is. I don't know. That's why I'm confused by it. Why it feels weird to me is because in the past when I've been in this, I've also been extremely mopey, extremely sad, like just, or numb. But I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. So that's why I'm confused. Anyway, yep, there's that. Okay, so, I have not acquired anything. And what other things in life update? Is there anything else? I've been playing around with colors. 4 years now, I have been on this journey to find the colors that would look good on me. And I've been in a huge struggle. And a couple of weeks ago, or a week and a half, I don't know, it hasn't been that long, there were some things that clicked for me. And I realized some of the problems that I've been dealing with, and just some answers to things. So I discovered and acknowledged that my skin tone is olive. Like, even though I'm really like fair skinned, I'm an olive colored. There's a green tinge to all of my stuff. And so then I was playing around in a computer, like I have a photo manipulation program. And so I was playing around with that, and I was like, how can I add some different ways to mute colors? Because I don't look great in bright colors. There always needs to be some form of mutedness, but in a lot of the things, when I would mute them, they would go to gray, and I wouldn't look great in them. It's just this really weird thing. So I figured out that I could make a layer that's just really opaque of, I have two colors, well, I have 4 colors. So I have my main color, and I put a picture of me in the best of lighting that I could get. And it's not ideal because it's always better to do things in person and stuff, but it gives me some good ideas of what's going on. And so I put my face in there, and I have a circle cut out of the thing, and then I put in the main color that I'm looking at. And then I have these other layers that I can turn off and on. One of them is white that is really like very, it's like if you put up a piece of glass that you could still see through, but it's got white on it. And then I did the same with black. So I have a black layer, I have a brown layer, and I have a green layer. And the green layer and the brown layer are like magic. I have found that for reds and oranges, if I put a green layer over them, they actually go amazing for me. And I'm just like, wowed. I'm just blown away. It mutes it in just the right way. And then sometimes I can add a little bit of black or a little bit of white to kind of get some changes. But if I am working with like a blue or a purple or a green, then I use the brown and mute it with the opposite. And it's kind of working on the color wheel. Like the opposite color of purple is yellow. So if you want to mute purple, you could mute it and soften it with white, or you can mute it with yellow and it will soften it in a different way and start taking it towards the center. The center of all of the opposites is actually brownish beige. It's really kind of a beige. So when and although the purple one can go a little bit gray. But so if you have yellow and you want to mute the yellow, but you don't want to change it from black or white, you just want to stay playing with just pigment, that pure pigment, that pure hue, you add in a little bit of purple, and it just mutes it just a little bit. And if you have purple, you put in just a little bit of yellow and it mutes it. And then if you want to change it with black and white, you can too. But this is a way where you are just working directly with the primary colors. So, well, primary and secondary colors, because we were working with purple. So if I have orange, then I use blue. Blue and orange will do the same thing. And then red and green will do the same thing. And so because my skin has a green tint to it, if I use green to mute the reds in clothing, reds and purples, and add, like, well, it depends on the purple, but if I add that little bit of green, it just softens it enough that it matches in with my, and like harmonizes with me. But if it's a blue color, if I add that brown color, because the brown is kind of a reddish, orangish color, then it mutes it the other way, and so I get the right colors. I hope that I wasn't rambling too much. I actually really love color theory. I did a color theory class when I was going to interior design school. It was one of my favorite classes. My other favorite class was my design psychology, and we talked about how the shapes of things and just different design elements, how they affect psychology and all that kind of thing. That was my other thing. But in the color theory class, we also talked about color psychology. All of that stuff just like it's one of my places where I geek out. I can really geek out on color. So I had a lot of fun in my class too. We had to take, and we'd got fabric samples, and we had to take acrylic paints and mix colors, and we could only use red, blue, and yellow, black, and white. We could only use those 5 colors. We could only use the primary colors and then white and black to do anything with the colors. And the only color, I was really good at it, like I was like, oh, that's got a tint of black in it and everything. The only colors I struggled with was the beiges, because depending on how close they were to the center, I couldn't always tell from looking at it if it was a red blue beige or red green beige or yellow purple beige. Like the beige here, I think this one's an orange blue, but it could be a red green. I can't tell. I know it's not a purple one. I don't like beige, but it's kind of fun. And so I've been playing with colors in my wardrobe. This like I feel like is okay on me. This is a color that shows up, not in this part of my hair because it's colored, but it shows up in my grays a little bit. Even when my hair's not, the parts that aren't dyed, there's a little bit of this lighter, this color kind of shows up in my hair, even when it was light. So that's kind of fun because it's kind of a grayish, it's a grayish color. And so that's kind of fun knowing that, but I feel like it's also a little bit light for me because I do have such dark hair naturally. I do find that a little darker colors fit really nice for me. Like this color right here would be a really good color for me. The pink is probably a little bit too clear. The red might be okay. I love the color, so I hope it's okay. So it's really fascinating to think about all these things, and it's fun to think about color theory with yarn, and so I might play a little bit with that a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Oh, and see this color here. This color is really good on me, and it's a little bit darker. But also, if I go too dark, I don't feel like the colors look good on me. And if I go too light, the colors don't necessarily look on me. If I go too warm, like I have yet to find a yellow that looks okay on me. And I have yet to find a, well, actually, I can usually pull off purples, blues, greens. I just have to really be careful. Like, it's such a sensitive balance for me. It's kind of crazy and frustrating. But I feel like I finally got a home with colors that I'm gonna wear, and I've been on this journey for 20 years, doing all the DIY. I always say it wrong. All the DIY color analysis things, studying the seasons, studying different forms. David Zyla has you like pinch your finger and whatever color comes up is your color. Now this nail color, it's almost perfect. It's not quite there, but my daughter was playing with it. We just didn't have enough time. My daughter was playing with this color, and I have this really light green nail gel that she did on a sample, and she put this thin layer over it, and it turned it into a dusty rose, and it was a literal perfect match for my pinched finger. It was crazy, and it was taking this reddish color, this light reddish pinkish color, and just adding the slightest bit of green to it, and it went to the exact color, and I'm just like blown away by that. Like, so crazy, so crazy. Anyway, enough of that part of my life. I'm excited for it to start bringing clothes into my wardrobe that are gonna make me happy. It's important to me. Why is it important to me? Some people are like, that is so crazy. Why do you even bother? My daughter doesn't, like, she thinks it's kind of fun to learn that, but she's like, I'm going to wear whatever I want, which is fine. Everybody needs to wear whatever they want. But I have this thing where I've seen people who are wearing clothes that are so in harmony with who they are that it makes my soul sing. And I don't know how to explain that, but it just makes me go, oh, wow. It's just so peaceful. It just feels so good in my soul to look at somebody who is dressed in colors and design lines and all the things that are just so perfect for them. It doesn't matter like if it's a style I would ever choose. It just matches. It's so in harmony with them. I feel it in my own being. And that's why it's so important to me. That's why I keep looking, and I'm so close. Like, I finally got the color thing figured out, know what's going on. I know that I have a very delicate balance and I can't go too warm, but I also can't, I have to be careful that when I do cool colors that they're not too gray, but they can't be too bright. It's like so crazy. So can't go too light, can't go too dark. This is such a sensitive balance. Why do I have to be so complicated? Couldn't I just do like pick up a color like this and be like, oh, I like that color, that looks great on me? No. Okay, so putting that aside for good now, for at least for today. I wanted to share with you a couple of things I've been learning. Both of them are kind of about setting goals, making changes in your life. One of them is really getting fine-tuning and understanding your values. I think I've talked about getting your soul agenda word, and my soul agenda word is light, like what makes me feel light, not heavy. The light that's bright is cool, but it's really about what makes me feel expansive and like everything's just lifted and kind of free versus heavy and restrictive. So it's that kind of light is my number one key thing that I'm looking for when I'm setting my goals. I want to do this goal because it makes me feel light. If I try to set a goal because it will be healthy, everybody has some degree of valuing health, but for me, it is so far down on my list of things I value. I value peace. I value harmony. I value certainty. I value authenticity. I value how I feel, my connection with God. All of those things way above health and money and all these things. But other people have those as higher values, and that's okay. But it's important to fine-tune it and understand what your values are. So then when I'm setting a goal, I'm going to say, you know, is peace in my value? Is light in my value? Is harmony in my value? Will this bring some certainty in my life? Is this something that I feel like is connected with my connection with God? That divine connection is really important to me. So is that there? And now I'm going to be setting my goals, and that's going to be a very important aspect of my goals. And I feel like I need to sit down with my yarn projects and do this as well, and maybe that will help me to finish them. Like the thing for my grandchildren, right now it feels so heavy to me, it just weighs over me. So maybe if I focus on that, if I can finish this and send it off to my grandchildren, that will bring me some peace and that will help me feel light. So maybe that will give me that motivation to get it done. I'm not sure yet. I haven't played with it too much. And then I keep looking at myself and I'm like, I've got my makeup on. I found a foundation color I like. It looks really good, like with my hands, my arm. I mean, like it's darker than my arm, but you can see like the tones there. But I've got so much redness going on in my neck. Like if we go over to where we can see my little white pasty things you can kind of see. There's a greenness there. Okay, so sidetracked to buy it because I can see my neck looks so red. So it doesn't look like my makeup's blending down in my neck, but it's just this redness, and I didn't want to put foundation on my neck. I hate that. This redness is coming from allergies. Yay. Okay. So we talked about value settings. So adding that value because into your goals. And I'm going to link a video that somebody talks very good about that. I really like listening to the way that she explains it. She's so much better than me at it. And then the next thing is a guy named Tal. What is his name? Tal something. I don't remember his name. It's T-A-L, and then it sounds possibly like from India or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember what his name is. But I listened to him talk on a show with Mel Robinson. She's so delightful. Anyway, so I was listening to that, and he talked about his SPIRE method for change. And I really want to share this. I shared it with my kids. Some of my kids, I've just taken it to heart, and they're working on it. The number one thing to remember is that it's little things. So you look at these 5 areas of your life, which I'll explain in a minute, and you pick something little. It could be literally a minute, like seriously. And these are things that will help you to progress towards being happy. So the first one is the S in SPIRE is for spirit, spiritual things. Now, if you're religious, it might be religious, but it might be spending some time in meditation, spending some time just in, it might be being in prayer, and might be spending some time in intention, but it's this spiritual aspect for your life, and it's doing something as little as, you know, like a minute meditation or a 30-second meditation, or you can spend a whole hour in meditation kind of thing. It's kind of this thing where it's like, what can I do today to move myself forward in the spiritual area? The next is physical. Did you know that if you do a 45-second workout 3 times a day, your body responds as if you've done a full workout? So you could do 45 seconds in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and you have made progress in your physical well-being. It could be that you need to change one thing in your diet, and it's just making progress in this area every day. The I is for intellect. This is learning something. It could be listening to a 1-minute podcast. I know there are bite-sized knowledge things out there. It could be spending time reading a book. It could be listening to a podcast. Sorry. And so it could be learning a new crochet technique, learning a new knitting technique. It could be learning a new song on the piano. It could be learning a new craft. It could be learning from a book. It could be learning from a podcast. It could be learning from YouTube. But it's the idea that you're spending time improving your intellect every day. Okay? Then the next one is relationships. This is not just relationships with a spouse or sweetheart, boyfriend, whatever. It's not just relationships with your children. It's friendships, but it's what can you do for them? It's a reminder that, I love this example. The problem we have with texting and conversations at the same time. And I know that we all get frustrated with this, but we also, most of us do this as well. We're trying to have a conversation with somebody and we're texting at the same time. I try not to do that kind of thing. I don't feel like yarning is quite the same, but it depends on who I'm talking to. Because I know that some people need more of my actual undivided attention. So I will put down my yarn project for a little while and give them a little bit of contact and connection. And then other times I can knit and crochet while having that connection. But here's the example that they shared. His favorite song is The Greatest Love. His second favorite song is Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Both great songs. And when you listen to them by themselves, they're inspirational and beautiful and wonderful. But then what happens when you put both of them together at the same time? It's chaos. Some people can focus in on one, but it's super distracting. It takes a lot of effort to be there. And that's kind of what happens when we're in a texting. This text conversation is great. It's important. Like maybe your relationship improvement is texting someone. Like for me, spending a little bit of time texting my son who's in Washington, that's perfect. But I don't want to be doing that while I'm also trying to have a conversation with my daughter who's sitting next to me. They don't go together. So having, it's good for me to have this text conversation. It's good for me to text my friend. And it's good for me to have conversations with my daughter. But when I try to overlap them, it's too distracting. So it's taking time. And it doesn't mean that you have to spend hours in one or the other. It doesn't mean you have to totally, do away with your phone. It just means being more intentional in your time in your relationships and making sure you do give some of that connection to the people that you really value and want to have those relationships with. I used this. I wrote a letter to my grandson because he sent me mail. So, and then before I leave today, I'm going to be writing a letter to my granddaughter and sticking in the mail. And so it's a moment for me to build that relationship, and it doesn't take very much of my time. And then the last letter is E, and that's for emotional. And this could be writing down some gratitudes every day. To just encourage yourself to be in an emotional state. It could be writing for a couple minutes of what you're just frustrated about. I think you can combine them, a couple of the areas. Like I spent some time doing a vent to God. I prayed and I was like, this is what's frustrating me. Sometimes it helps to talk to another person. Sometimes it helps to journal. And he talked about how just people who write down what their journal really quickly about it, even if you write for 2 minutes and burn it. There's something about that writing about it or talking about it with somebody that can help your brain start to resolve it and find, make sense of what's going on. And so it starts to resolve the problem. But if you just hold it inside and ruminate on it, it never comes to resolution. It just keeps spinning. So happier people are people who take time to find somebody to talk about it with or find somebody to write about it with. And I'm not saying being a complainer or a just vent all the time, but sometimes it helps to talk to somebody to find solutions. There's been so many times with my daughter that I just have to talk about the things and she doesn't have to say anything. Sometimes I need feedback and I'm like, okay, now I need a solution from you, or at least an idea from you that can get me thinking about ideas. But sometimes it's just so much about talking about it and journaling about it. And so you can take a couple minutes to journal. You can take a couple minutes to, complain to God about it. You can take a couple minutes to spend just sitting with gratitude. These are things that will improve your emotional state. So again, you got spiritual state, you've got the physical state, you've got your intellectual state, your relationship state, and your emotional state. And you want to work on all 5 of those and move them forward in your life. And those will be things that will bring you to happiness. And they don't have to be big things. They don't have to be big goals. They can just be little things. But if you're making effort every day to move these things forward, then you are more likely to experience joy and happiness in your life. Alrighty, guys. I am going now. I hope that I've said something to inspire you. I hope that you enjoyed seeing what I'm working on with my projects, and I hope that next time I can come and say, yay, I've done things. I hope. Remember, oh, let me get something first. Remember to let your light shine through your creations, whatever they be. Let's see if we can kind of get an idea of how big around that is. It's almost to where, well, it is. It's to where I can just work. Like if I push it up to the ends and push so that I can work on it. It doesn't have too much tension. So it's almost, yeah, it's almost not tension. Anyway, remember to let your light shine through your creations, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.